This is one of my favorite memes. It's saying that while Celsius is convenient for scientific purposes, Fahrenheit is a more human scale because it corresponds to a temperature range relevant to everyday life. Fahrenheit also has smaller degrees, allowing greater precision without fractions or decimals. But how did Fahrenheit come up with his scale? It's a long story, but those considerations of human scale and precision without fractions really did play a crucial role. Daniel Gabriel Fahrenheit adapted his temperature scale from Danish scientist Ole Romer. Romer had set his fixed points at 0 and 60. The 0 point was set equal to the freezing point of brine, or a salt solution. Why? Because that was considered the lowest temperature any human in Europe was likely ever to experience. Some scientists even thought it might be the lowest temperature possible, though we now know otherwise. Romer's upper fixed point was supposed to be the boiling point of regular water. He probably chose 60 because it's highly divisible and because astronomers were already comfortable working in base 60. Two significant points on Romer's scale were 7.5, the freezing point of regular water, and 22.5, the temperature of human blood, which was believed to be a constant. Notice, these numbers weren't chosen. They were measured after the fixed points of 0 and 60 had already been set. Now, Fahrenheit liked Romer's system, but he made some renovations. First, he noticed the degrees were too large to allow much precision, so he multiplied everything by 4. This left the 0 point unchanged, but raised the freezing point of water to 30 and human body temperature to 90. It also got rid of those troublesome fractions. Second, he decided to shift the scale slightly upward so that 30 became 32 and 90 became 96. There's some debate about why he did this. One story is that he just made better measurements of the freezing point and human body temperature. I'm skeptical of this story. Another story is that he knew 96 was conveniently divisible by many other numbers. Yet another story, and the one I find most plausible, is that the difference between 96 and 32 is 64, which is a power of 2. As a result, other scientists could easily calibrate a new thermometer by using 32 and 96 as endpoints and then finding all points in between through successive halving. Okay, so what about 212 for the boiling point of water? It would be nice if that derived from 60 through similar calculations. But really, 60 basically disappeared after Romer. In practice, 96 was the new upper fixed point. The boiling point on the new scale was simply measured at about 212. Later, when scientists discovered that human body temperature wasn't constant, they decided to reset the upper fixed point at the boiling point of water. So 212 started as a measurement and became a definition. Under this slightly adjusted scale, and with more accurate measurement, human body temperature was remeasured at 98.6. TLDR, the Fahrenheit scale derived from two things relevant to everyday human life. First, the coldest temperature a person was likely to experience outside, in Europe anyway. And second, human body temperature, which also happens to be one of the hottest temperatures a human will experience outdoors. Meanwhile, the gradations of the scale derived from wanting sufficient precision without annoying fractions or decimals. Which brings us back to the meme. The point is, Fahrenheit is not as arbitrary as it seems. It resulted from a specific design problem. How do we measure temperature in a way that fits with lived human experience? Celsius is great for chemistry. Kelvin is great for physics. Fahrenheit is great for knowing whether to wear a jacket or a sweater today.